I want to welcome everybody to our October episode of the Sonic Promos webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about the upcoming holiday season. We'll be focusing on holiday season strategies and trends. Of course, we'll be talking about our tips and tricks and how you can put everything into practice. I want to introduce you to your host today, and that would be me. Hello. Yes, new screen. We got a lot of response that the circle was just not providing enough Seth. So here you go. Here I am. I'm rocking the pink cap today for October. It's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame patch on it. I love it. So I thought that it would be appropriate to share with you all today. We've got a lot of great things to talk about, hopefully some new ideas for you. So let's jump in and get started. All right. So just a reminder, we try to break this up into a few parts here, talking about what's trending, how you can put some of those into practice, and then hopefully some tips and tricks that you can take along the way. So we're going to be talking first about holiday trends, all right? And we're going to be focusing on these 5 holiday trends that you see, talking about less is more, muted colors, luxe vibes without the luxe pricing, talking about how food is always in, and then a little bit of insight into what we're seeing with office-friendly apparel. All right. So, why Sonic? We always like to, tell you we are, a brand marketing agency. We're experts in what we do. We've been at it for a while now. We have a vetted group of manufacturers that we work with to ensure that we're delivering high quality goods to you and your clients and your customers. Those are the same people. Your staff, prospects, anybody that you want to get your brand in front of. We really want to make sure that we're giving you the good stuff. We are always trying to increase our knowledge. We're always trying to learn to make sure that we can provide you with what is, most important right now to help you with your decisions. All right, so less is more. We are seeing that, yes, budgets are tightening this year, and that's okay. When that happens, what you don't want to do is give nothing. And that sometimes is the thought, like, hey, we can't give something that we used to give last year. Well, maybe we should just not do anything at all. And that is really just too drastic of a drop here. So, instead of doing a kitted solution where you might do 3 things, consider doing one thing. A lot of times people are instead, spending a little bit more on one really, really nice item. We are consistently seeing freedom of choice programs where if you're not sure what to give people, you can offer 3, 4, 5, 10 options and let your team pick what they want. And this way, sort of set the budget and find the items that really work. But it doesn't need to be super, value and, expensive. It can certainly just be something that at least touches each of your people, hits the mark, and gives them something that's really going to resonate. But again, nothing is certainly not the way to go. We are seeing a lot of trends right now in muted colors. Nothing so bright, a little bit more drab, maybe sophisticated palettes is what we're saying over just bright traditional colors. We're seeing a lot in the way of neutral tones, dusty hues. These are what are considered a little bit more sophisticated, if you will. Now, I know that some of these are challenging if you've got specific brands, but even or specific brand colors, but even if you've got specific brand colors, there are still some of these variants that can work with your brand. You might need to get approval, but you can also look at taking these and then putting your actual branding on top of them and maybe use that as a way to be able to hit all those points here. So it's something that a lot of people are asking about, and if it's something that you want to give to people, it's more of that like houseware, like I said, upscale. It often coordinates really well in all sorts of ranges from light to dark. So that's why we're seeing a lot in the way of muted colors. We talk a little bit about Lux feel, not Lux pricing. So, how do you create luxury? For us, it's often about touch and texture. So we've got some examples here of, journals with like a leather cover. We talk about items like these ceramic mugs, which actually has some of those grooves in there. Take a look at some of those candles there that has just this nice upscale look, but you're not breaking the bank. And then everybody loves the Sherpa blankets, always very popular. They come in so many different price points. They can still give a really nice high perceived value without breaking the bank. And like we've mentioned, I guess a few months ago, we talked a lot about decoration. There's so much that you can do with decoration that can really up the expected value of what an item is. If you go from, instead of putting an imprint on a glass mug, and instead put a laser etch, or even a what we call a satin etch, where you're doing a very like transparent print on it, that can give a very, very professional look, again, without spending excessive amounts of money. So ask your rep how they might be able to help you to give that upscale look on something that you might not normally think of as a high end item. All right, food. We love food. I think so often people don't think, well, they don't think of us all the time for food, and that's okay. Except that we have great food gifts, and we want you to know about it. And the easiest way to do that is to get some samples. We like sending samples. We want you to taste the items and say, wow, this is really great. And we know that these items are great because we make them fresh all the time. Nothing is being pulled off of the shelf and then we're putting a sticker on it. We are baking cookies when cookie orders are being baked. We are baking these amazing cinnamon cakes, these coffee cakes, when they're being requested. And this, oh God, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing the cinnamon cakes are. Not only do they come in huge sizes that are available for like 6 or 8 or 10 people, depending on how big of a piece you get, they also have these little mini ones that are perfect for individual people. And they're so good. They're so fresh. And it's just such a nice, different experience for those people. Food is so good because it's a perfect gift for every budget. It has universal appeal that often can associate with strong memories. And if it's something where you have coffee, or it's a coffee thing, or you want to do something tea related and you have a specific type of tea. I'm a big Earl Grey fan, and so when I'm getting Earl Grey tea, like it just brings me back to certain times when I went and visited England and remembered having tea and scones and all of that good stuff. So never underestimate the power of the food item. Yes, they are disposable. However, you can put them with nice items that can be kept around, like some sort of nice candy jar. But you can also just do a nice presentation, and that's sometimes more than enough. We have tons of options, from brownies to cookies to cocoa to cakes. I actually just got a request earlier this week for fresh baked cheesecakes, and we can do them. So if that's something that you and your group want to be able to do, let us know. There's no quantity too big or too small. And we can, like I said, we can really hit all those great price points. Okay, office friendly apparel. So believe it or not, business casual is back in. However, it has become more and more that we are trending toward the business part rather than the casual. So I will, well, I'll show you that I'm wearing a t-shirt. The pendulum has not fully swung here at Sonic for me, but for everybody else, it has definitely swung more to these, polo shirts, pullovers, nice jackets. We've been doing an enormous amount of branded cardigans this year. And I think a lot of that has to do with offices are maybe turning the heat down a little bit, or they're turning the air condition up. So if you're in an office where you're looking for something that you can outfit everybody with, something that's going to look a little bit more upscale and is also going to keep them warm, then certainly there's some great jackets and other items like that. We also, like I said, we've been seeing a lot more in the way of professional wear, so dress shirts and polo shirts. And the reason for that is more people are going out into the field, they're going out to see clients, and so they need to look somewhat professional, but they do not have a suit in their closet. Or the suit that they have is from when they were 13 years old. For some of us, it might still fit, but for others, it doesn't. And so that's why this is, again, a great place to look for if you're trying to find something that can work for your people. And the other thing that you might consider is if you're not sure what to give, you can set up these freedom of choice programs. We can offer them 3 different jackets and they can pick which one they want. And then we place those orders for you. So whoever, you are, whatever need you have, consider apparel. Again, all sorts of budget points that can really work. All right, so it is time for a new part of our show. Here, hello. It's called What's on My Desk. And believe it or not, we are going to talk about what's on my desk. I'm sure you ask on a regular basis, what is it that the professionals use? What do the promo experts have on their desk at all time that might be something good for me to either have on my desk or to put on other people's desk? And that's a great question. I believe that desktop real estate is one of the most valuable resources that you can get a hold of, especially if you're trying to target clients, if you want to stay top of mind with programs for your staff. So, there's only so much space that you have on your desk. And so being able to put a well-placed item on the desk and keep it there for some time, it can be invaluable. And truth be told, some of the items that I'm going to show you on my desk here have been here for years. One of them is so old that it doesn't exist anymore. So that's tells you something. But for some reason, it's still on my desk here. So let's jump into the first thing. So first and foremost, I got this new hat. So I'm going to change hats. I'm very excited about it. I've been sharing it. It's, if you're not familiar with Sheetz, it's a gas station slash food. It's like if we had Buc-ee's here in Maryland, that would be where I would be. But for now, I go to Sheetz, and I go there enough that it's time for me to buy a hat. This is actually a pretty well priced hat. It's got the trucker back on it. It's got this foam and the embroidery, so I really like it. And so this is actually the trend. We're seeing a lot more of these arches, some upside down, some right side up. But that's my hat. The other thing that I have on a regular basis is my Cadence massage gun. Here it is. I, like everybody, get aches and pains. I'm a hiker. I sit at my desk for a long period of time. This is one of my most prized possessions. It comes with 4 attachments. It comes in a little box container thing with a zip. It's rechargeable. It's amazing. It's got 3 or 4 speeds. It's like only $50. And I say only $50 because if you know how much a Theragun costs, you know that it's not $50. And so highly recommend it. Not large amounts of minimums that you need for it. The Cadence massage gun, get it today. What else do I have on my desk? Believe it or not, I have an emery board. And these are great items for low ticket, stay on top of people's desks or in their purse, not mine, but on their desk. I do break nails occasionally. I sometimes bite my nails occasionally. And so this really does come in handy. Whatever your message is, it sometimes doesn't even matter. It's just a really worthwhile item that sticks around for a long time. But health and wellness for sure. If you're saying to people, stop biting your nails, this is how you want to get them to do that. Maybe this is an item that you might want to consider. Okay, what else do I have? I got a couple more minutes here, so we'll make it quick. I've showed this many times before. We've got a lot of these really cool items that can have all sorts of different sand in them. They can be filled with water. They can be filled with different balls and stuff. And we can do little die cuts. We can put words in there. And these are some really, really neat custom items. Here's a Sonic one. It's a coaster, but on the back, it's got water and these balls, and you can fill it in with a light bulb. So that's an item that I really like. And then last but not least, playing cards. And why do I have these playing cards on my desk? Because I've talked about these playing cards so many times that it's just not worth going back and forth to get them from the sample room. This is an award-winning brand marketing promotion that we did with our friends at Southern Management, and we did custom branded playing cards for them. And every single one of these cards has a different design on them. And each of those, oh, as I'm dropping them, each of those designs is one of their communities. Some of them are their people. Some of them talk about, special programs at their company. And so this is presented to their employees to let them, when they join the company, for them to be able to learn more about the company. But I love these. This was on my bucket list for like, I don't know, 25 years almost, to be able to do custom playing cards that you can not only do the brand on the back, but you could also do individual information on every one of those faces. And so if you've got health tips, if you've got learning lessons that you want to give for people, if you've got multiple locations, you want to highlight those locations, this is a great item to do that. Under $10, like this is a really, really perfect item for all sorts of storytelling. All right, I could keep going, but I'm going to stop because we are moving right along here. So, all right. So now we want to talk a little bit about what's trending in the way of product choice. So give them something they won't buy. How many times have you needed an ice scraper and you didn't have that ice scraper? Do yourself a favor and give everybody else ice scrapers, right? If you know that you've got people that are constantly in the car, that's a great place. That's not desktop real estate, that's car real estate. So those are places where you want to be able to, put your name in front of those faces. Same with the umbrella. Most people don't buy umbrellas for themselves. They have tons of promotional ones. But if you want to make sure that yours sticks out, make sure that's a good one, that it doesn't blow upside down as soon as the first wind comes by. And we can help you with that. And yeah, maybe you need a funky pencil cup. These are the types of items that you would be surprised just end up on people's desks and stay there for who knows how long. Stop gifting the same thing. So this is a challenge, right? We get a request all the time. Yeti tumblers, Awala tumblers, tumblers. Power banks. Do you have power banks? Do you have something that charges phones? Those are all the same things. So if we know that everybody is doing those items constantly, then maybe consider giving something that can go along with it. So when everybody's getting drinkware, do a pour over coffee maker, right? That's something different. They've already got all of those tumblers, so that's a good one. We talk about the power banks. Consider giving them cords, some sort of branding cord. We've got cords that are, look like lanyards with your logo printed all over them. We've got the multi-cords. Those are items that, yeah, they've got the power bank, but if they don't have the other pieces to go along with it, that's not going to work for them as well. Likewise with doing the drink bag, if something that you can put something into, these are other items that a lot of times people are not getting. And then the nugget. I'm a huge fan of the nugget. I got one in my wall right now. If you plug some of those chargers into the wall, it can take like 4 hours to get your phone charging. So putting one of these in to the wall and then putting the cord in, you can usually get that laser speed, where it takes like an hour or something like that. So instead of just giving the same thing, consider things that can help to, coordinate with those items. All right. Experiential gifting. You've heard us talk about this before. We do a lot of engagement.
Hey everybody, Seth here once again. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We have figured out the solution and hopefully it will not happen again. In the meantime, it's left us with some empty space. So it's a perfect time for us to direct you to a video from our webinar on experiential gifting. And you can check it out here or here in one of these corners here and let us know if you have any more questions.